Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I am Danielle Watson, your host. I really appreciate you joining me here at 3 p.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Pacific live. Thank you for making it here. If you're watching the broadcast after it's been live, thank you for being here too. I really appreciate you. So I'm curious, before we hop into today's show topic of out with the old, in with the new, how are you doing with your gold star adulting? How are you doing with this week's extra credit? I'm getting thumbs ups. Thank you so much. If you'd like to say hello, please just type something into the comments. I love to greet you by name. It makes me happy to see that my friends and fans are here. So how are you doing with this week's extra credit? Now, if you're just watching the show for the first time, you might not have seen what the extra credit was this week. I love giving out extra credit. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge overachiever from way back. And sometimes when I was in school, I would do the extra credit even though I already had an A, just because I wanted to see if I could do it. It looks like Elena is here with Lacey. So glad. Thank you for joining me. I've missed you girls. I've missed you girls so much. So this week's extra credit assignment for Gold Star Adulting was to receive gifts from people with enthusiasm. So we all know how great it feels when we give something to somebody, whether it's we give them a hug, we give them a gift, we give them some advice, and they receive it with so much enthusiasm, right? It feels amazing when somebody's like, oh, thank you so much. That's so awesome of you. Thank you. It feels so great. We love that. And yet we don't necessarily love being the person receiving something like that. And so this week's assignment for Gold Star Adulting, that extra credit, is for you to practice receiving the things that people are giving you, the gifts that people are giving you, with enthusiasm. So I told a story the other day about how someone complimented me on my dress, and I made sure to stop and give them my biggest smile and say thank you and really receive that gift of words with enthusiasm. So gifts can be any number of things. A lot of times they're offers of assistance or help that we turn down and we're just like, no, I can do it myself. Or maybe somebody wants to buy your dinner and you say, no, absolutely not. I can buy my own dinner, or let me buy your dinner instead. And we just take away this opportunity for people to feel amazing for having given to us. More thumbs ups. Awesome. So that was the extra credit. But today we are talking about this idea of out with the old and in with the new. And I wanted to talk with you guys about this because this is something that comes up for me over and over. Julio's here. Thank you for joining us. So I have found that throughout my life, I am constantly evolving, and I'm pretty sure that that is the same for you too. And what I've noticed is that I've developed a practice of being really good at shedding my old skin and just doing the new thing and not worrying too much about how it's going to appear in that process. And I know that that's not something that everyone is quite as comfortable with. It could be because they haven't had to deal with a lot of transition in life. It could be because they've received a lot of disapproval from people when they've tried to change, when they've tried to better themselves. There's any number of reasons why people hesitate to just flush the old and move right on with the new. Beta's here! Yay, Beta! Thank you! I'm glad that you were able to make it live. So I was just talking about how today we are talking about this concept of out with the old, in with the new, and that it's not necessarily the easiest things for many of us to practice. Tammy says, as a person who has given gifts that people haven't always shown enthusiasm for, it really feels great when someone does show enthusiastic appreciation. Great subject. That is a great comment, and someday I will tell you a between the lines story that goes along with that comment. So we are talking today about really giving ourselves permission to flush the old, right? To just let it go, to shed the old, to let it fall away, or to even like actively peel it off. Letting ourselves evolve, letting ourselves become that next thing that we're striving for. And a lot of times I find people talking about this from the angle of we are afraid to become what we are, or to show people what we are or what we have become. We're afraid of stepping into that next new. Hey, it looks like the video froze, so I'm hopping back on. I'm sorry if you guys got kicked off. So we were talking about how we hesitate to allow ourselves to become all that we've become and to allow people to see us in new ways and to see us develop into something different. There's a lot of hesitation around that, and a lot of times people talk about this as we're afraid to actually become that thing, and it is my opinion that that is not what we are actually afraid of. We are not afraid of becoming the new thing. What we are afraid of is somebody seeing us in that sort of ugly, half undressed, transforming process of becoming the new thing. So we're all in for being whatever it is and for evolving ourselves and becoming something greater or bigger or stronger or faster or more beautiful or more loving or whatever it is. We're all in for the result, for the outcome, but it's the process that we don't want to allow people to see us in. And so I just wanted to shed some light on that process and the importance of that process. The awkward stage, Tammy Keck says, yes, the awkward stage. We talked about that a little bit with chickens. If you've ever seen the life cycle of a chicken, there is a moment between when a chicken becomes a full-grown chicken and after it is just, you know, a little baby peeper, where it's pretty hideous looking, and that is simply part of the process. So we have to allow ourselves to evolve. We have to allow ourselves to let go of things from the past and embrace things from the future, but it's not always easy. And I try to model that here on the Danielle Daily Show, that it's okay to change direction, it's okay to change your mind, it's okay to reinvent yourself, it's okay to have a new idea and let go of the old idea. I know some of you have been with me for a while, and you know that I wrote a book and that I published it last year. It's available on Amazon. Its title is Dear Self, I Love You, Keep Going. And that book was all about heartbreak and grief and healing and moving through really hard times in life. And when was the last time I really talked about hard times in life, right? Like, that's no longer my experience. It was my experience at the time, and the book is out there, and it's something I will continue to share with people because I believe that it really touches people right here in their heart when they're feeling really, really raw. But it's no longer my experience. So if I spent all of my time talking about being in this place of pain and grieving and getting through hard times, I wouldn't be allowing myself to evolve. And so now, if you think about it, the most natural next step for someone when they've been through a hard time is to open into a new place, right? You come into a new place and you start having a new experience. So I went through a hard time, I went through a divorce, and the next most logical experience is, once I'm healed from that, then I get to go out and I get to date and I get to try to meet someone new so that I can have that experience in my life again of having a relationship, of having somebody by my side, of having somebody who brings me joy and that I'm falling in love with and we're planning a life together. But if I stayed just always talking about this experience of grief and hardship and heartbreak, I wouldn't be allowing myself to move forward like that. And what I want you to hear in what I'm describing to you is the importance of letting yourself be where you are, letting yourself have the experience fully, and then when you're ready to have a different experience, allowing yourself that. Just saying, you know what, I did this thing, it's out there, and now I'm moving forward. So as you know, I've been working on this GROW formula for dating apps, and that is coming out of my experience of being out there in the dating world and my very unique perspective on all things human that happened because of my background in anthropology. And there are some people who I'm sure are like, I'm confused. You were just talking about heartbreak and now you're talking about dating. But to me, it makes perfect logical sense because we're all always evolving and we're all always having new experiences. And we need to just allow ourselves to do that, even if it doesn't look pretty, right? Even if it doesn't look necessarily clean and polished and consistent, it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter if there are some people in your life who question why you were one way yesterday and you're a new way today. The important thing is that you are a new way today, and there are people around you who will support you in that, and those are your real friends. Those are the people who really care about you and want to see you become the best human being you can be. So that was all I had for you today, just talking about flushing the old, letting go of fear of someone seeing you, moving through that transition point when you don't have it all together yet, and just allowing yourself to blossom and unfold into whatever that next thing is, and remembering that the right people, the people who really care about you, are going to support you in that. And don't forget, this week's extra credit, if you join the show later, remember that the extra credit for Gold Star Adulting this week is allowing yourself to receive with enthusiasm when people give you gifts. And remember, gifts are not necessarily physical items. They can be a hug, they can be a compliment, they can be somebody buying your dinner. Anything can be a gift. When somebody is giving you a gift, try receiving it with enthusiasm. And on a future edition of the Danielle Daily Show, I will tell you the story of the many, many gifts that I have refused to accept in life, and I think you guys will enjoy that. All right, so I will see you back here again tomorrow at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Until then, I love you guys. You know how to get me if you need anything. I'll see you there. Bye. Mwah.